Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, you're welcome. My name is Anita Fon, and if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe to help this channel grow. And if you're a old member, you're welcome back. Today I'm going to show you on how to draft this beautiful flattering puff sleeve dress. It's very elegant, so if you want to know how I do this, keep on watching. First thing I'm going to do is I'll take my soldier measurement divided by 2 minus 14. 14 divided by 2 give me 7 inch, but I'll add half inch for allowance. Altogether is 7.5. From that 7.5, I'll slant it down by 1 inch for the soldier slant. From that 1 inch, what I'm going to do is I'll put in my armhole deep, which round my armhole is 15. 15 divided by 2 will give me 7.5. I'll mark it up. The next thing I'm going to do is I'll go ahead to put my neck deep and my neck width. I'll go in for the neck deep, I'll go in by 4 inch, and for the neck width, I'll go in by 3 inch. Connect the neck width to the soldier slant. Then I'll connect the neck width to the neck deep. The next thing I will do is to go ahead to measure from my soldier to my nipple point, which mine is 10 inch. From my soldier to my half length, which mine is 15. From my soldier to my hip, which is 23. From my soldier to the length of the dress, which is 33. I'll connect it with a straight line. I'm going to do the same thing on my hip line. I also do the same thing on my half length line and on my nipple, on my bust point line. After doing so, the next thing I'll do now is to go ahead to put 1/4 of my bust measurement. Round my bust is 34. 34 divided by 4 will give me 8.5. I'll mark it up. Then I'll go ahead to connect it all the way to the 8.5. Next thing I'm going to do is I'll come on my waistline. I'll put 1/4 of my waist measurement, which mine is 28. 28 divided by 4 will give me 7 inch. I'll mark it up. Then I'll come here on my hip deep line. I will put 1/4 of my hip measurement, which mine is 36. 36 divided by 4 will give me 9 inch. Then I'll come here and measure whatever I have and divide it by 2. Mine is 7.5 divided by 2 will give me 3.075. I'll go in by 3/4 inch. I'll go ahead to connect this up. Then I'll connect this. Then I'll connect this from here to here and from the waist to the hip. Take note that this pattern I'm making, I do not add any allowance. That's because my fabric is stretchy, okay? So I will not be adding any allowance. But if you're using a non-stretchy fabric, go ahead to add your 1 inch of allowance. So I'll just go ahead to measure whatever I have there, which is 9 inch. I'll bring it down here as well. 9 inch. I'm going to go ahead and connect it to the length with a straight line. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my nipple to nipple measurement, which mine is 7 inch. 7 divided by 2 will give me 3.5. That's the bust pant measurement, alright? I will mark it up 3.5. After doing so, I will connect it with a straight line. The next thing I'm going to do is I will come to my hip deep line. I would go up by 2 inch. Then from my nipple point, I will go down by 1 inch. But this dark, I'm just creating, but I'm not going to be using it because my fabric is stretchy. We don't need any dark or anything. I'm just creating it, okay? I'll go in by 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch for the dark. Connect it all the way to the 2 inch of the here and I'm going to connect it to the 1 inch. So I'm simply going to repeat the same process to the back pattern. For the back neck deep, I'm going to go in with 5.5 inch. Then the neck deep is 3 inches as well. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I will divide my armhole deep by 2, which is 7.5 divided by 2, give me 3.075. From the center line which I do, I'll connect it with like this, right? And now for the dark, you know, the dark of the back piece is always different. I will go up by 2 inch, then I'm going to mark the nipple to nipple measurement, and I will connect the dark is going to go up to the chest line. After doing so, we'll go ahead to cut up the pattern. The next thing I'm going to do is I will go ahead to slash, that's to cut this here at the waistline, because I'm going to be slashing it up. After doing so, I'll just connect a straight line here at the center, then I'm going to cut it right at the center. Next thing I'll do is to gum this up, or to hold it up with your tape. While holding up, I'll make sure here is 2.5 and then hold it up. You can increase more if you want, alright? I'm gonna do the same thing here. 2.5, then I will go ahead to gum that up. After doing so, this is what we have, as you can see. Now, if you case you're using the dark, you just go ahead to stitch the dark like this, and it's going to fit perfectly on the waist. Okay, now the next thing I will do is to measure my armhole of my pattern. We'll use this for our sleeve. So this is 9 inch. We'll use that 9 inch letter. First thing I will do is to go ahead to fold in my drafting paper into 2. After that, I'll go ahead to draw a straight line, which is going to be my guideline. The next thing I'm going to do is I will put in my cap sleeve length, which mine is 3.075. Connect it with a straight line. Then now I'll take my armhole, that's around my armhole, which was 15 divided by 2 will give me 7.5. I'll mark it up. Then I'll go ahead to connect it from here to here with a straight line. After doing so, the next thing I'm going to do is I will measure whatever I have from here and divide it by 2, which is 8.5 divided by 2 will give me 4.025. Mark it up. Then I will go up by ½ inch from here. From that center line, I'll go up by ½ inch. So I'll go ahead to connect this point from here to here with a straight line. Now I'll go ahead to take the French scarf. I'll connect from this center line to here, like so. The next thing I'm going to do here is I want to go ahead and measure whatever I have from here to here and divide it by 2. Which mine is 4.5 divided by 2 will give me 2.025. Mark it up. Then we're going to go down by 1/2 inch. I'm going to connect this like so to the center line. After which I'm done doing so, I'm going to flip my French curve ruler to the down upper like this. Then I'm going to pass through that 1/2 inch which we went down. I'll connect it like this so you can see me doing. Then the next thing I'll go ahead to measure it up to check if it is that 9 inch that we measure from our armhole. So what I have here is almost 9 inches, not just 2.025. I'll go ahead to add that later. Now I'll go down to that's the half length, which is 9 inch. Then I'll go down to the sleeve length, which mine is 18, but I'll be using a band of 3 inch, so I will mark 15 inch. Connect it with a straight line like this. After doing so, I will come here. What I will do is to come here like then this. I'm going to come here at this downer part. Normally we put the wrist measurement, but here I'm not going to be using the wrist measurement, alright? So example, if you want to use your wrist measurement, you just go ahead and measure. That's around my wrist is 8 inch divided by 2 will give me 4, but I'm not going to be using the wrist here because I want it to be in a form of a flame that's open, right? I'll go ahead to mark 9.5 inch. I'm going to connect this with a straight line like this, because that's to gather it, to be able to gather it at this downer part. If you don't know if there's so now I'll go ahead to cut that up. After cutting it up, we'll rule a straight line at the center. First thing, let's go ahead to remove the back armhole, so we'll be able to have the front and the back armhole. After doing so, I will rule a center line like this straight. Then I'll open it up like we did for the skirt. Now if you want, you just go ahead. Me, I want to have gather here, so I'll be adding a 3 or 4 inch at the center, right? But if you don't want the gather, just leave your sleeve like that. There's no need for you to slash it up. So now for the band, I'll be using my wrist measurement. So mine is 8 inch. 8 divided by 2 will give me 4. I'll go ahead to mark it up. I'll come here 3 inch, but I'll mark 3.5 for joining it to the sleeve. Connect that up, and we are done with this project. So I hope you all love it. Do not forget to like, comment and share, and I hope to see you on the sewing project. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. So this is all. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching to the end. So I'm just marking the front and the back. See you on the sewing tutorial.